Hey guys, hope you're having a great week, or I guess what's left of the week. And you know what? I was trying to figure out what exactly I can use to kind of showcase a little bit something different, if you would, of what I'm trying to talk about. Is basically the gist of what I'm trying to say is I like the 90s, and it's not just that like I like the 90s because of like any type of fad or anything like that. Like I more or less actually am a product of said 90s. I was born in 88, which means I spent the majority of my life in the 90s. It's just it's my existence in a nutshell. I have all my best memories there. In fact, one of the things I was thinking about just the other day, last night, if you would, I was in the kitchen with my wife, and basically what happened was she was making a sandwich or something like that, and she had like a piece of bread, and she like puts it in my face, and I'm like, wow, that reminds me of the time that I made French fries, and she's like looking at me like, what? It's a piece of bread. How do you get French fries out of bread, right? And basically, what it was I had a toy. Apparently, it came out in '93, so probably would have been around '93, '94, around there. And it was a McDonald's toy, where basically what it was, you would take a piece of bread and you would put it into this into this thing, and basically what you would do is you would then take that bread and it would fold over into itself, basically just kind of made like little rinky-dink bread French fries. And like there's just so much, like I'd have to like do the research to know exactly what's the 90s and what it just kind of felt like the 90s for me. That's what I grew up with. Like I was like so I would have been between the ages of like 2 to 12 more or less in the 90s. Or maybe I guess 1 to 11 would be kind of be more accurate. I think 1 to 11 is actually more accurate. So all of my pre-teen years, and not like immediate pre, like my actual childhood. I remember my favorite franchise growing up was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and oh man, that was another key thing. I remember one of my big memories that I had was I had everything. Like I don't know if you guys know that person. You probably do know that person. I think everybody knows somebody similar to that, where like there's like something that was like their thing, and like if you visited their house, like their room, like I had your typical 90s bedroom for Power Rangers. I didn't have posters or any like artwork or whatnot, but like I had the blankets, I had the sheets, I had the action figures everywhere, and my most prized possession was the what's it called? The Megazord, where you could actually put it together. So it like had all the different parts to it, and then you would just, it was just so cool, and like definitely like product of the 90s. And then like another thing I'd have to think of from the 90s as well would be like what's it called? The other TV shows that you would have watched in the 90s that would have like mattered a bunch to me as well. Stuff like, bro, where are you going? Come back here. He's trying not to get bodied, I guess. He's not coming for me. Oh, come here. But like, I think Cartoon Network first like started like getting big too in the 90s. I loved Cartoon Network when I first discovered it, because it was all cartoon. That's all I wanted to watch, was just cartoons back in the 90s. And like, if it was like a show with like real people in it, I didn't care for it. And you know, you can call it like a bit ridiculous. That I would be like so enthralled only in like what I wanted to watch, but that's who I was. That's what I cared for. That's what I wanted to indulge in. And you know, we all have our preferences, right? But oh man, it was just being able to watch those shows, because like there's a lot of shows that I can't say exactly if it was in the 90s, shows like Doug or whatnot, but I'm pretty sure like Rocko's Modern Life was a show from the 90s. And oh man, in hindsight, if I was raising kid me today, I'd be like, Kid Chris, you're not allowed to watch these types of shows. I mean, it was inappropriate in its own ways, and I mean, but I didn't know back then. I was sweet, I was innocent, I was just a cute little old Chris growing up in the 90s, and oh man, I just enjoyed it so much. And honestly, it's like, I feel like, youth is like wasted on children. It feels like sometimes, like, if I can go back and like relive my 90s like differently, that would probably be like one of the coolest things that I could definitely enjoy. But I digress. I mean, what can you really do other than just be grateful for the time that you had, and that's basically it, right? But there's so many shows and like franchises and whatnot that just really mattered to me back then, and I was just really grateful for it. In case you guys are wondering right now, I'll break my little 90s fan enjoying right now to explain kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm getting through some of the 1999 bounties to try to give us a little bit different B-roll than what I'm accustomed to. I mean, Lord knows I use so much so often, but it's nice to just be able to change it up. I enjoy Warframe. I mean, I think I've made that clear to people that that's what I enjoy. But let's see, what we got? Heavy mags? I don't even know what we got here. Harden up? Nope. And we'll just take the extra attack speed, right? And then we'll go into the next one. I'll grab that thing. I don't really care too much. Melee weapons. And we're going to change up the mission real quick to do basically, I guess, this one. Down in the basement. Destroy stationary items. Just changing it up. But that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about 1999 and Warframe is that the type of things that like go on here is like they weren't my influential parts of my life, right? Like I didn't have that mall culture back in the 90s because like I said, I was a kid. I really didn't. I wasn't going around hanging out at the malls, being a mall rat and all that jazz. But I did go enough times that like when I see the things in here, it makes sense to me. It feels like it's the type of life that I could have had. And oh man, I just I'm trying to think of like how to word it. It's like really cool, right? And the idea that like it's the thing, like there's a whole game, like who said that there should be like the 90s in a video game? Like it's kind of crazy for me to think that like somebody decided like not the 80s, not the 70s, not the 60s. I don't think anybody's clamoring for the 60s. Maybe the 50s, like from that one movie Grease was like took place in the 50s. So like there's some joy in that one, but for the most part, it's just like somebody decided on this, and just some of the references that are here, like oh man, like oh another one was like I don't think it came from the 90s, but like they have these little like I don't know what the best way to put it. I think like Tamagotchi pets. They weren't really big in the United States. Maybe it was a big thing in Japan or something like that in their 90s. But like for me, it was just like I remember like when maybe Tamagotchi came out. Like we took care of them, and by take care of them I mean they were cool for like a moment, and then we stopped taking care of them, and then they would just like poop all over the place or something like that. It was not the best situation for them to be in, but I mean, it was a toy, right? Trying to think other things that might have came out in the 90s, like maybe Furbies. I don't know. If you remember Furbies, let me know. But it was just like a really cool time to be alive, and I feel like it doesn't get like as much love. Like one of the weird things about the 90s is there's a lot of music from the 90s that like, for me personally, was underrated back then. Like not like from the general media, but from me personally, it was underrated. Like I didn't really care much for it. Like you can correct me if it wasn't from the 90s, but like, or like we'll say like the late 90s, early 2000s, like stuff like maybe the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, something like that. I didn't really care for that. I've never really was a Britney Spears fan. Michael Jackson was still prime though, right? But like, in hindsight, like there's so much music now that I listen to that's now considered classic rock, which, if there's one way to make me feel old, make anybody feel old, is when you hear music that was from your childhood and on the quote classic station, and you're like, wow, really? It's like that now? I'm old? Like, let me tell you, kids out there, if you're watching this, and it's not, when I say kids, it's a broad stroke statement. I'm not talking about specifically young children, but young people in general who have yet to go out and live your life. Cherish your music while you can, because nothing's going to suck more than when you hear like imagine when you're like maybe like a middle-aged mom thinking nothing of it. You're at the gym trying to get back into your fit days, and you hear Katy Perry or Taylor Swift on the radio, and they're like, "Oh yes, here comes a new classic hit." The whatever one of their songs, like TGIF from Katy Perry, or "You Belong with Me" by what's it called, Taylor Swift, and there's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Did you just say that was classic music? Like, yeah, it's classical music. You remember when, like, your parents were listening to, I don't know, like Guns N' Roses or Whitney Houston or I'm trying to think who else is there, like Elton John. Yeah, now you listening to, I don't know, the Jonas Brothers or Justin Bieber makes you old, and you're like, I don't want to. What? I didn't want this. Like, let me tell you something. Nobody wants this, but it happens. It's what happens. You end up becoming old, and you're just like, how do I go back? And it's like, that's the dark side of growing up, is you can't go back. There's no backwards. There's no undoing the curse of aging. And I mean, that's how it feels. Like some of the things I like from the 90s, like I'm really into a lot of stuff that's now considered like classic, like the idea that like Weezer, who still makes music, they are classic rock now. If you were to listen to like Buddy Holly or something like that, the song, not the actor, but like also like Audioslave, Soundgarden. Shoot, I don't know if they make it into the 90s banner. They might have like be right before the 90s cutoff, but like Linkin Park is considered classic now. Like, that is brutal. Like, imagine that. Imagine, you're listening to Crawling, and all the young bloods are looking at you like, wow, you are old. You know all the words to Meteor or Hybrid Theory, and you're like, what do you mean I'm old? And there's like, yeah, you're old. You got that unk status, which I believe unk is supposed to stand for like uncool, or no, I think it's supposed to stand for like uncle, but it sounds a lot like uncool. And now you are the unk, and it's like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, I mean, I should have known better. I mean, bro, I'm like 37 years old, so like it's kind of yeah, that's exactly what it was going to be. Like, I couldn't expect it to be anything other than that. And it's like, oh, like, what do you do in that case? I'll tell you what you do. You just gotta deal with it, I guess. The fact that everything that you think is cool is now kinda outdated, and you just kinda have to deal with the fact that, all the things that you like. But I still love it. It's one of those weird things when you're born at the latter part of a decade that you need to understand that even though I'm a product of the 80s, I belong, for the most part, to the 90s. All the things that I grew up liking are going to be from the 90s. And it just kind of is what it is. Like, I remember being younger and watching stuff like this is probably more from my teenage years in the early 2000s, but I'd say like these are products of the 90s. Being a kid, and we had cable, I believe, or satellite, whatever it was. Imagine that, cable or satellite, in the living room. But in our bedrooms, we didn't have cable or satellite. You just had antenna television. Now, golly, bro, like, what's an antenna? Like, I would say it's the thing that's like on your phone or in your car. But these kids these days wouldn't know where the antenna on their car would be if they even have one, and their phones don't have one either. But like, I would be like in bed, like trying to go to sleep, and I would watch the news at 9 here in my hometown. News at 9, and then the last like 10 minutes of it would be like Maximum Sports, where they talk about all the local teams, like the Dallas Cowboys or the San Antonio Spurs, stuff like that. Stuff I didn't really quite understand, but like it just was what it was. It was just me basically counting down the time until we got to after the news, which we would have one episode of The Simpsons, which is what I look forward to. And then after The Simpsons would be Seinfeld. And if you don't know who Seinfeld is, it's if you ever heard of, like, you've heard of, everyone has to have heard of B movie at least. Even if they didn't enjoy it, even if they don't know the actor in it, like by name or by face, whatnot. That's what it is. It was the guy who did B movie is Seinfeld, and what was I saying? And then after Seinfeld would be 2 episodes of Frasier, which, golly, I hope I would fall asleep by then, because after Frasier would be Spin City, which I didn't really know too much about Spin City, but it would come on. But like, these are like shows from like the 90s that were like, these were the things that would be on, and these were how I would get my rest, how I would go to sleep at night, knowing that, like, okay, cool, you know, just put this on, and I could go to sleep to these things. And it was really a time, really, to be alive, and I'm grateful for it. It kind of shaped me into the kind of person I am. Like, golly, like, Frasier, if you, fictional character, but if the guy who plays it, which, don't at me, I think it's Brendan Fraser who played Frasier, but I could be wrong. But if you watch this, you know, I'm sorry. It's like he already knows. Like, he taught me how to enjoy boring talking TV shows. And it's not that it was necessarily boring. Though one could argue, yeah, it kind of was boring. But when I say boring talking TV shows, I'm talking about, like, for me specifically, as a young child, basically, I'm not going to be enjoying these things the way that you might would like to have people describe it. Like, yeah, it was kind of boring. It's like, was it really boring? Like, what made it boring? Well, what made it boring was the fact that I was a kid. And the mature things that they talk about on that, and when I say mature, I don't mean like inappropriate, but like stuff that, like, you know, an adult would worry about, but a kid would never wouldn't even bother with. That's what I mean by that type of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that just kind of flew way over my head. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. The fun parts of it, like, you know, you know what, guys. That's the era that I was born in. It's what made my life even like remotely interesting or fun or whatnot. Just growing up in this time frame and just being able to have these types of memories and talk about these types of shows. It's so cool. I feel like when you talk about a whole decade, you probably have to talk about like a whole lot of other stuff. But like, the first things that come to mind are the things that actually mattered most to me, the things that actually affected me as an individual. Were like these things. But guys, let me know if you have any respect or adoration of your own for the 90s, or if maybe you have something else. Like, maybe maybe you don't know anything about the 90s. That could be a thing as well. But if you don't have anything really particular to say about the 90s, like, at least let me know about what's it called, the era you grew up in, and like what made it fun for you. And, you know, it's just kind of how it goes, I guess, is the best way to say it. But we had a little bit of fun, got a little bit of Aya. But all that to say is, man, yeah, I definitely think it needs like a second go around. But you guys, hope you enjoyed having this little talk with me, listen to me babble on about the decade that I spent. I'd say a good portion. Maybe next time I should talk about the 2000s, because that's where I really came into myself. But until then, guys, remember, life is worth living no matter what decade we're in. We're going to make mistakes, and we're going to make a bunch of memories along the way, but you're trying your best, and that's worth the effort. But until next time, I'll see you guys next time.